Hi everyone, welcome to the last group of the Ro16, Group H. Today we'll be having a TVT. First player up is going to be Shine, our Terran. Shine had some really great games in the previous round, so I'm excited to see what he will bring to the table. On the other hand, we will have Mind, our other Terran as well, previous MSL champion. So he will be a really difficult player for Shine to play against. We will have to see who will be taking the series and advance to the next round. Map is Blue Storm, fighting. So our green Terran, top right corner, Shine. And our purple Terran, bottom left corner, Mind. So we've had quite a bit of TVT series this round. Basically, we had the Light versus C, the first group. We had Flash versus Hausen. We also had quite a couple of games in the Ro32, most notably things like Flash versus I Love OV and Up Magic versus 4GG, just to name a few. And a lot of these series games, etc., have been really interesting. A lot of dropship play, basically players trying to play to the map to their advantage. We did see the nice Flash versus Hausen game on Blue Storm as well, but a lot of these players do have their own styles that they like to do, so like they execute. So we'll have to see what kind of strategies they will open up with and go from there. Now we see in this case, obviously the Shine is aware of the potential for a proxy in his base, so he does a scout first. They are both getting the D-put around the same timing as well. And Shine looks like he is scouting around a bit. Now the question is, I wonder if he's going to do some kind of a proxy, or this is more just to scout around, because you can kind of see he's scanning all over the place. We got some Mind fans in the audience, and for good reason. You don't win an MSL at such a young age if you're not skilled. Yeah, so it looks like it was actually a proxy from Shine. So it's definitely not a bad idea. I do wonder if he plans to actually float this into the main of Mind. But keep in mind, Mind is also getting his racks as well and getting the gas behind it. And I believe so is Shine as well. So it's more than likely there might be a proxy fac. Or it could be just be a fac right in the base as well. But other thing as well could be that this racks will also be a bit potential for scouting too, but looks like Mind is somewhat aware of this. You can see he's very close. If he just moves a bit further down, oh, it's going to be close. No, and he gets the scouted. Oh wow, okay, so this racks will be finished. So that's at least a minor win for Shine, but this does mean that Mind has an idea of what Shine might be up to. And you can see, yeah, so it looks like it's a proxy fac from Shine, and the factory was basically there just for the spotter. Okay, so things are on track. We see the factory is coming up in Mind space as well, so he is matching him too. Biggest advantage for Shine is that the racks will give him a full read, even if there wasn't a Marine there. But there is a Marine moving right across the map, and this Marine is probably scouting for a potential proxy, or looks like he's actually going straight to the main. Oh, okay, it looks like it's a double proxy fact. That's very interesting to see. I do wonder if because we can see Mind is running as a Marine right into Shine's base, but this can also be easily denied if Mind sniffs it out, and he might start looking for it now because he's gonna see that there is no factor in the base, and this will give him tips that there is a proxy somewhere. The question is, will he find it? Oh, and that was a nice SCV, the Marine kill there. But the first fact is done. And the factory will be done soon as well. I'm interested to see if Mind is just going to get like a bunker up, or looks like he is getting a bunker up, so he can easily actually float his factory and block the top there from any run bys or anything. But we do see an add-on being added on, so I wonder if this is going to be like something like speed vultures, get a couple of vultures, research speed and go in, or it might just potentially be get like a tank and camp the high ground. It would not be honestly a bad idea. Keep in mind, obviously. Oh, and we even have a starport behind it, so maybe And we get a starport as well from mine too. So if not mistaken, I believe Shrine has actually scouted this, or mine has scouted the 2-fac, and he already knew there was a proxy somewhere, so this just gives him more intel. One thing to mention is that the only way the vultures can come in is from the ramp. Exactly where the SAV is there. They can't come from the little choke. But okay, so it looks like tank. So it might actually be just siege that's being researched then. Because sieging at the top will mean that mine will have a hard time breaking it. And this tank is scouted. So again, more intel for mine. And you can see, even the CC was he was going to get on point, he had to actually stop and reconsider, because this is going to get really bad for him if a siege gets up. One thing for let me see. I believe that vulture is actually for mine, if I'm not mistaken. And at least the wraith is out before the control but you do have more wraith coming in here as well for Shine. Now, mine will scout. This is going to also do a bit of damage, but we do see other vultures coming back. So if mine can get a couple of SCV kills and delay the mining, that can definitely work in his favor. So that's 2 SCV kills. He can activate at least a 3rd SCV kill. Oh, and he just barely misses it. 3rd SCV kill. So you get a 4th, at least a 4th SCV kill. So this is a great mini win for him. And because he has 2 SCVs here that are trying, or at least one that is trying to repair the tank as well, that is just more resources being drained away. But keep in mind, I don't believe he has an academy or anything to discuss, so this wraith could do a lot of damage. Okay, so academy actually is coming in, about 75% of the way done, so he should be able to get up a CC ace or a comp set ASAP. So it seems the strategy that Shine was going for was basically just to get a quick contain up on the mine and then expand behind it. He will snipe also the first race, as well, is a nice win for him. That means he can also and looks like Cloak is finished as well. Now, one thing that is a plus for Mind is that he does have the tank up on the high ground, but he doesn't have any AA, and that's something that is definitely concerning, honestly, because you can see the Wraith will come and start nabbing, hitting away at these tanks. So he will need to get an SCV to repair. He doesn't have an eBay or anything, so he can't get any tears. He is making a Marine for the Wraith, which is not a bad idea, but by having the tanks up there, just at least will help him deny any kind of any contains from Shine. So Shine will have to try and do a contain near the ramp at the 3rd, so at least it's a little easier to move around. Looks like actually Mind moves up a bit further up, which is not a bad idea. Now there is 2 Wraith here. These are going to start reducing SCV of that tank. And is he repairing it? Oh yeah, he is repairing it. Okay. But looks like he's going to be at least using 1 tank. So this might be going to start spiraling out of control if he doesn't get like a 3rd or something up. But I don't even believe that he had an eBay just yet either. I believe that the eBay is just building now. You can see he's. And part of the problem is the positioning of the tanks means that the SCVs, to get there, they have to basically walk through some of the other tanks. So that's 2 tanks killed. That is a really nice win from Shine. And depending on how many tanks he has, that might even give him a chance to push up. But there is now a Wraith out. There is a couple of Marines as well. So the Wraiths are going to basically leave. I believe a CC has one down in Shine's base. Oh, and he's gonna be able to get. He should be able to get at least one more. Should be able to get at least one more. Okay, there you go. And I believe there is a red one too. Okay, so it looks like actually mine will be stabilizing, and he has the eco advantage. So it was a nice idea from Shine opening up early, but the second direct did mean that his eco was affected. And with mine basically getting his CC up mining, even though he did lose a couple of tanks to the Wraith, but the Wraith have been all softened up as well. We'll have to see what the transition would be here from Shine. I wouldn't surprise me though if he went for dropships. Seems like pretty natural here. We do see more facts being added in from Mind, and he is repairing his race. This is something I really love, as well as his armory is there now as well. And he has the Goliath, so he should be good to go against any further Wraith harass. Second port did go down for Shine from what we just saw. So I wonder if he's just going to try and play, add more and more, start adding more dropships, or if he's going to go for more Wraith, which would be very odd to me. but we'll see what he decides to do. Now, as CVs-wise, you can see the XP is a bit sparse for Shine, but it seems healthier for sure. At least a couple SCVs healthier for Mine. So Mine is definitely winning the eco game. Plus, he had his expansion earlier, and he is building his units up. Now, it looks like he actually is making more and more Wraith from what it looks like. So I guess he is going the more and more Wraith route. Thing about Wraith is that a turret or two Ansi will basically would deny them so much. And they're, the good thing about them is that you can float in and out, do a bit of damage, but if the Terran locks down their base pretty tightly with turrets or has, Goliath well positioned, then the Wraith essentially are just what we call paper planes. Paper airplanes. So they're extremely easy to kill, so to speak, but they can do a lot of damage when used wisely. Looks like Mine is planning to push up. This is probably not a bad idea, but I feel like he needs to spread a bit more. But he has quite a bit of here. Oh, but there is, a lot of Wraith here. There's what, 4? But between the Goliath and the Marines, I think Mine will be okay, and he will be cleaning up this, and this will definitely go to Mine's advantage. There's 2 Wraith left. He's going to be catching another tank as well, and he still have another 5 tanks, 6 tanks behind. So you can see the equal advantage and the fact that he did a great job preserving his tanks, basically, especially when Shine was putting a lot of his money into Wraith production. So this is going to get the factories for Shine sieged up. And with these down, that means no production from Shine anymore. So last tanks are going to get sniped. Mine is going to be taking our first game. Now, bearing any crazy things such as, somehow Shine having, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 threes coming out of nowhere, but there is enough Goliath to even defend that, honestly. So I don't believe there's much of a chance of him coming back here. And with the factors being killed, he will have to add a couple more. But I don't believe he add any more into his main, and we can see that Mine is taking a third behind us as well. So, I mean, oh, no, he's not, this is the Rax, but if you don't even have any factories and your opponent has 5 factories plus like 5 to 6 Goliath, oh, and his Rax is even finished, he can't even build factories. So yeah, this is definitely the GG coming in here. Nice strategy from Shine, but Mine was a little solid, and he basically read the situation, reacted appropriately. GG. Well played by Mind. So Mind will take our first game. So match number 2 is about to get started. It's do or die for Shine. Map is Loki 2. Fighting. Our yellow Terran spawn at the 8 o'clock spawn is going to be Shine. And our purple Terran spawning at the 2 o'clock spawn is going to be Mind. Now we have seen Factory Expand being somewhat popular on this map, and with good reason. Likewise, some players have taken their back expansion or even their forward expansion and obviously expand along whichever route they felt was appropriate. So I believe it was in the Flash game versus Hausen where he took the outer expansion and then he left the inner for the 4th base, for the 4th gas, which is definitely not a bad idea as well, because that one can get more secure as time goes on and be a little easier to defend. But of course, there are benefits for doing it either direction too. I'm interested to see if either of them will go for something like a CC first, but this again is a 2-player spawn map. You can easily scout your opponent rather than something like Zodiac where you have to scout all over the place before you find them. So it'd be easy to get intel about what the opponent is doing. So I believe both of them will probably more than likely play safe because Shine doesn't want to probably be too risky, especially considering he will be eliminated if he tries something and loses, and at the same time Mine is up 1-0, so why not play it safe and go for the macro game, right? Now I do see what looks like the racks coming down from Shine. I haven't seen the racks coming down from Mine just yet. Maybe there's something near the ramp there, but oh, it looks like it actually might be a CC first from Mine. So definitely not a bad idea. Honestly, he is up 1-0. And there is also no guarantee that Shine will be trying something risky either. There's a possibility, but after the last game, Shine might be more wary of it. If this CC gets up and Mine starts mining it and gets his factors on time and such, it will be hard to break. This would mean he will get also the economical advantage too with the faster CC. Now we do see the SCV does for Mine did scat around a couple of proxies, namely up at the 4th location. But we do see again the CC on spot as well for Shine. The gas coming in, I expect the gas to come down ASAP as well for Shine. He does need to get the factory, but things are more or less kind of similar with I would say Mind having the slight advantage with the faster CC. Yeah, there comes the gas. The position of that depot is pretty interesting. I don't believe it manners the gas, but if it was a little more to the right, it would probably more than likely do it. Just I thought that was an interesting thing. And you can kind of see the CC is pretty much done for Mine, or it's about halfway done for Shine. Now the one thing is we did see what looked like the SCV leave Shine's base to scout Mine. So I don't know if that was the SCV there that was scouting around, so he knows what's up, or if it was for something else. Now there is something definitely in the middle of the map, so that might be blocking the choke, so that could also potentially be the SCV. We do see a bunker coming down from Shine. And no, it looks like it actually Mine's SCV that was blocked in the middle. Factory is finished for Mine. And looks like Mine wanted to basically confirm the CC. He gets to see the CC. The bunker will mean that Shine is prepared for any kind of Mine aggression, but at this point in time, both of them are just going to be building up their ecos and adding the production structure, so I'm not foreseeing any kind of harass or anything. We'll have to see if they're going to add, you know, it looks like maybe a port's going to go up ASAP for Mine. Yeah, it looks like it's a port up ASAP for Mine, just the location, the positioning seems to give it away. We'll have to see if Shine will replicate. Oh, but this is interesting. So Shine actually goes for his in-base CC. Definitely not a bad idea. He knows that Mine has expanded. And seeing as Mine is going to the port, he's not adding more factories or basically doing any kind of... It doesn't look like he's going to be doing any aggression, at least for the next bit of time. He will have a chance to get it up. So we see the armory. This does mean that Shine will have AA for any potential Wraith play, and he can also get the upgrades as well faster too if he needs them. And we get the control tower as well. So I mean, this is more than likely a Wraith, but there is always a chance. Oh, okay, there's another starport as well. So this looks like it's pretty much Wraith, just cloaked Wraith essentially. What made this is pretty nice from Mine's part, because if a scan comes in or Rast comes in, which we see that is coming, it will see the one Wraith, and Shine will basically not have an idea that there's actually another port coming in. But obviously this can backfire as well, in the sense that if Shine is aware of it, he can definitely prepare for it. So we'll have to see what the defense for Shine is. Now, does he have an academy for like a ComSat? Well, I don't believe we saw one that was building. We just saw the armory. So at least he'll have the Goliath. But he definitely does need an academy at some point to be added, and especially with the first rate going to be out very shortly. Now, he does see the fact that there is no third base, like a third expansion in the in-base. I personally do wonder if this will clue him in that something might be coming as well, because he also scouted the location just near. Oh, and the academy is actually coming in from Shine, so he should be prepared for this Wraith. Yeah, so looks like Mine is going to basically get up a couple before moving in. It's definitely not a bad idea because it can definitely catch Shine off guard, but Shine looks like he has Goliath positioned around the area, so he is definitely prepared for this. He knows this, he's read Mine's play pretty well, and he's adding his own facts as well, so I actually really prefer Mine's Shine's position. Aside from the fact that he's going to have a stronger eco, he is more than ready for this race. Wraith. Now, one thing to mention is because it is 2 stoppers here, that does mean that Mine can add dropships faster if he needs to. If he has to transition from this. So what this is going to come down to is how well the Goliath control is versus the Wraith control. So execution-wise. So he's gonna get the 1 SCV. We don't see any reaction just yet. That's 2 SCVs. He can probably get a third one. Honestly, the Goliaths are bugging out. And I can probably honestly have gotten a 4th one. Like, 1 Wraith is going to go down. But Shrine is steadily increasing his tank count basically here. He should definitely be careful because there is a couple, is 3 com sats here. But keep in mind, because you can see the Wraith can basically swoop in one area and out, kill a couple of SCVs. And walk back out, and that's what, like 5 kills now? We're gonna get 6 kill? On the other hand, look, you can see how basically the Goliath are the pathing, the way that they're just clunky as well. So they have to walk through these and they get stuck. So that definitely makes at least this a little more viable. It would be nice if he's able to kill the racks in the middle, honestly, because again, that does mean no factories for Shine anytime soon, even though he just added a couple, so probably won't be a while. Yeah, it looks like that's what he's going to do. Now, Shine is getting his own base, his own CC. This can definitely be, is going to be killed. Or he should be able to get it killed. Or, well, I guess more than likely it's going to burn down at this point. Unless he decides to backtrack, but... So I love Mine's positioning here, because what this means is that he's basically trying to secure the 4th base eventually, and this also will cut off one of the attack routes for Shine, so he'll have to go all the way through the top, but he does have a Marine there. Keep in mind, he can range the expansion's gas with a couple tanks on the side, but there's only, what, the 4 tanks here, so Mine can definitely move his tanks in place in time. But it looks like he's going to be coming around, but there's a couple tanks here that are going to be sieged. Oh, and Mine has repositioned his tanks as well, so Mine is playing this really, really well position-wise. I do see what looks like an SCV in the top left, so Shrine might be taking his own another CC there, or waiting to take another one. No, it looks like it was just a Goliath being repaired. Oh, so yeah, okay, there you go. The 4th of Mine will, the 4th of Sign will be denied temporarily with the Wraith. And essentially what's happening at this point is Mine has locked his own half of the map. And he's doing still a great job with keeping the Wraith alive and just getting so much intel. And even with the path, you can kind of see the way that Mine is playing this in terms of having the units up and down to control the movement, and the fact that he has the 2 ports. So it's more than likely he will start adding dropships soon and transition to that, because we do know how important dropships are in this match, and specifically this map, especially with the pathing. And there you go, the 4th has been added for Mine as well. On the other hand, Shine's 4th has been denied. Oh! Oh wow! Okay, and there's even tanks at the potential, another potential 4th for Shine at 6 o'clock. So gets a couple Goliath killed. So Shine is struggling in terms of dealing with Mine's army movement, which honestly is quite brilliant right now. He is really playing the map well. What can he do is the question. Now he is double expanding. We do see a CC in the top left. So definitely not a bad idea, because he does have control over that whole area there, and he is going to be denying any kind of movement towards the 12 o'clock, meaning that Mine can only expand towards the bottom. But keep in mind, Mine does have some tanks there, so it wouldn't be surprising if he just double expanded there once he's more stabilized and got a couple of factors up too. Now upgrade wise, I'm seeing 0-0 I believe on both, if I'm not mistaken. We haven't seen any dropships yet though, and I do expect we'll start seeing some being made, but looks like nothing is being made at this point in time, so I'm not sure what Mine's plan is for long term. When you can even see, even Shine has only his port, he doesn't even have a control tower on it. So what looks like what's going to happen is the map is going to be honestly split straight down, just like a vertical split across. So everything on the right is going to be mines, everything on the left will be shines. Because you can see even expansion wise, the top left is ready. Top left is ready for shine, and the bottom right is being made right now for mind. And I believe he's even making a 6 o'clock. If he hadn't started, he will be making it soon. So it's gonna end up being 6 base versus 6 base late game TVT, and we're only at the 12-minute mark now, right? And they're already on betting their 6 bases now. Now, one thing here I wonder is if Shine is aware of the fact that there's only a single tank there. Because as the game goes on, especially when you get more and more CCs, you will have access to more scans. So this can tell you, how the path, what path the opponent is taking in terms of movements around the map, where the bulk of the army is located. So you always hear pros basically saying it, talking about how important it is in late game TVT. And I think that's what's going to happen basically. It's going to be at one point. We do see 1-1 is actually finished for Shine. Oh, and we see even more and more Wraith as well for Mind. So it looks like what Mind might want to do is he is prepared for any kind of drops that might come from Shine. He looks like he wants to snipe them. We do see more and more ports, so probably potentially BCs or Math Wraith. We haven't seen the science facility yet. We do see the physics lab. Looks like more and more ports are being also added as well. So it looks like it's going to be BCs from Shine. So I wonder if it's going to turn into a BC versus Wraith game. Oh, look, no, we see the physics lab as well. So it's going to be BC versus BC. We saw something similar to this in the Nada versus Kanata game. And it basically came down to who had the best amp and who engaged at the best time, especially with how well the Yamato was controlled. So that's 7 ports for Shine. Oh, it looks like an 8th, 9th, or an 8th one. But you can even see the supply was like 172. They have a lot of money that are floating right now. Something like what, 4.3k, 2.k. That's quite a bit of BCs that they can make. Now it looks like Mind is aware of this, because he did get the scan off, so he did see the physics lab. So I might try and push to deny one of the gases, which honestly would not be a bad idea. But there is quite a bit of tanks here and the defensive ground. And you can see just mass control towers being made. BCs are going to be coming on board shortly for both players. And the double army as well, just the attack and the defense armor. Now we see only a bit the 5 ports from Mind. The 4 at the top and the 1. But Goliath do still pretty well. Goliath will do pretty well against BCs if Mari could, and we did see that in the Flash versus Hausen game. So we'll have to see what the micro is like also from either player. Basically, there's a lot of variables right now, so it's a bit hard to tell who is up ahead because they are both mine on equal bases. I do love the fact that Shine Base is committing to this, especially with the fact that they can have so much money. And Airplay does do well on this map. But you can also deny just how powerful Goliath can be, especially when microed properly, especially with someone like mine. Now, there is quite a bit of tanks actually moving in, and this could potentially cut off the main from the other expansions. Looks like mine is going to be taking a nice position here. He will get a tank kill, which is great. And looks like he's also actually going to be attacking up. Oh, and this actually can leave the ports vulnerable. And you can kind of see basically if the control towers are gone, then you can't even make any more BCs, basically. And there's a couple of BCs from Mine coming in. So this is actually a great situation for Mine. He's killed a lot of the SCVs. The ports are actually exposed. 2 BCs are out, and a couple more will be out. But there is a couple of Wraith here and a couple of BCs. And basically, Mine does not, or Shine does not want to lose his port. Keep in mind, there is... a lot of these tanks are going to be exposed and be going down, so they will have to be pulled back. Is there any Goliath though to help? And that's the one thing, is you don't want to lose your tank army because that will cause like a ripple effect. And there was 2 ports down, so it's 5 to 5 ports, but a couple of tanks as well. I feel I still prefer Mine's position here. But I feel like he should also just save Wraith at this point. I don't see a purpose of him just getting them killed. He could also be trying to free up some supply for multiple barrack cruisers, and you can kind of see he's basically running SCVs to get more supply because he's already he has an access at this point, and it gives him more supply to make units. I do believe Yamato is more than likely done for either player. So this might end up being something like a tank BC versus tank BC push. So no, actually looks like it's 6, so there is an extra port for Mind. Keep in mind that Shrine does have 6 as well. There was one in the base there. Shrine does have the overwhelming BC count, and honestly he can actually catch these BCs. We'll see if there's going to be any Yamatos or anything. And basically Mind cannot engage this. He will lose. He is getting more and more BCs to join his fray. And you can see there's about 3 more coming in the back, so Shrine will have to withdraw. He will get at least 1 tank kill. It's not a bad win for him. And that does mean he has a little more map control now. But you can see Mind does know the situation he is in. Now, I don't believe we've seen a single vessel from either player. And at this point, a lot of it is basically them just getting up their BC count. But it looks like at first Yamato is coming out. Second Yamato as well. Third Yamato, we're going to see it. Oh, I don't know about this, honestly. It feels like Mind is starting to lose more and more of his BCs. And it looks like Shrine wants to engage. He knows that his position, he knows that he can get, he has the advantage. So he's going to be killing a lot of these tanks. This is extremely bad for Mind as well. And looks like his fourth is going to be exposed. No, it looks like Shrine is content with just killing tanks. And this will also mean that he, depending on how he feels like, he could also push a couple of units down to the 6 o'clock. But an engagement is coming in now. This is going to come down to who has the better target firing. I believe Shrine does have the advantage. And we do see a couple Goliath are coming in to join the fray as well. But more and more BCs are coming in for Mine. It's going to be really close. I believe they have the same amount of BCs now. 5 versus 5 or 5 versus 6. But the Goliath are going to be changing this whole the whole battle. So more and more BCs are going down. And we do see a couple of tanks in the back as well. Now keep in mind the BCs are extremely important. They have to survive for either play. We do see a lot of repair. And it's down to 5 versus 1 BC. So Shrine will be taking the air battle. Oh, and that was extremely done Yamato. And with him, if he targets the physics slab, this means no more BCs for quite a while. And this will force a Wraith from Mine. But the 4th base, oh, and even targeting the facility. But with the science facility done, no more BCs from Mine as well. So Shrine has won the air battle. We can potentially see just a mass Wraith just to go up against the BCs. Keep in mind there's only about the 5 of them now, but the Wraith do build faster, and if he manages to catch the BCs just for a second, he can do quite a bit of damage as well. Having said that, Shrine does have a bit of an advantage now, especially with how many tanks and BCs he has killed. It's on top of the fact that even science facilities, you can't even build science vessels anymore. In terms of mining, I believe I do see some mirrors left in a couple of mines bases. We can see his 6 o'clock is almost mined out. He still has quite a bit in his bottom right, so that one should be protected. And he still has a bit of SCVs here, but you can see he needs to fix up the workers here, otherwise he will be losing income. Personally, I'm not sure about this move. There is quite a bit of tanks from Mine's position, but he doesn't have a lot of air or a lot of AA. Oh, no, it actually looks like they both just walked out of each other, basically outmaneuvered the other. And what this means is that Mine is basically going to be losing the high ground because Shrine will be taking it first. So BCs are coming in. Honestly, it feels like there is enough Goliath here. Look, he is moving out of tankers, but come on, like 2 BCs, 3 BCs versus like 7. So yeah, this is definitely Science win at this point. All these tanks are going to be lost for Mine. This 4th base is going to be lost. And with the position of these tanks, this means that the bottom right and 6 o'clock are going to be forfeit as well, because it's going to be hard to get units over there, especially with the fact... and GG. So Mind taps out. Shine will win this game, so C is tied up 1-1. So the last match, the decider of this group, will be played on Zodiac, fighting so our white Terran, 6 o'clock spawn, is going to be Mind. And the blue Terran at the 9 o'clock spawn is going to be Shine. Now these spawns, I personally do prefer Mind's location, just looking at the overall thing, instead of the expansion pattern as well. Because think of it this way, Shine is going to be expanding towards Mind. On the other hand, Mind is going to be expanding away from Shine, basically. What this means is that if Mind decides that he wants to put on some pressure onto Shine, let's say for his expansion, it's going to be right around the corner, so to speak. The island bases are close to both players as well, so I can definitely see them taking them as a third or fourth. Especially with the fact that you can, if they add dropships or Wraith or even just a couple of turrets on the edges, it'll be a little more fortified and hard to break. Alternatively, they might not even decide to do that. One other thing to keep in mind about this map, because we haven't seen a ton of TVTs on it, is that one of the potential third bases is adjacent to the main. And what this means that is if you as an opponent or if your opponent can get a couple of tanks just at that third base, not only will they deny it, they can also range some units into your main as well. So this can be pretty brutal to actually break later on in the game, or at least more difficult, so to speak. Now we do see the gas coming in from Mine. We don't see anything from Shine, so it looks like it's going to be a CC first from Shine. Honestly, this can be good or bad, because based on scouting patterns here, Mine will more than likely scout Shine first, which means he will know what is going on. And at the same time, with the gas underway and the racks almost done, we know a fact is going to be going up ASAP for Mind. What this means is that this factory, the first Vaulter that comes out, can do a lot of damage and have a lot of intel scouting. So we'll have to see how things play out. Now imagine if something like a 2-fact came up. It would be very interesting. Kind of bad for Shine though. So factory is up. So it's going to be just the 1-fact, more than likely just the Vulture into the machine shop, and then an expand right behind it. Would you see the gas is coming in? Oh no, it looks like Mind is actually carrying in the opposite direction. Nevertheless, his position is honestly not that bad either, because he's more than likely he will probably move the Vulture towards the 9 o'clock. And the Rax was only halfway done last we saw, so by the time the factory is up, the Vulture can at least get some intel and get a couple of SCV kills, I believe. And we even see the SCV coming down for the CC2 from Mind. Now, if Shine does defend this, and he might even honestly just prep a bunker ASAP if he feels at risk, but if Mind does defend, or Shine does defend this, he'll be in a great situation, because economical wise he'll be further ahead from Mind, especially with his CC being finished while Mind just started his. Factory is about a third of the way done, so the Vulture can definitely make its way there. As you can see, this is pretty interesting. You can see the double scout from Mind, so Mind wants to know what Shine is up to, and I don't think he's going to be happy honestly when he sees the CC finished and mining. And you can see, yeah, this is a complete block. You get the bunker up as well, so you're gonna have a hard time running a Vulture through. Whether he can do something like drops, but I mean that would obviously need a starport as well, so it's unlikely. But we do see some SCV, so maybe it's gonna be a double port of some kind, like 2-port Wraith as a follow-up. Yeah, 2-port Wraith as a follow-up. I would say the biggest thing now for mine is he basically had to prevent the SCV from scouting this, because we did see an SCV was moving out. So if the SCV gets in and scouts this, then Shine would be more than prepared. Would you see the army coming up? The academy has to come up sooner than later, especially with the fact that the ports are about halfway done. So I think this is actually a great idea from Mind. He definitely knows what he's up against at this point, especially with seeing the block. And his Rex is going to also be scanning. You can see the Rex is making its way near the bunker there. So second factor going up, we see the control tower. So the iron being done, that doesn't mean that Goliath are coming in, but looks like this is going to probably be Cloaked Wraith, with the potential for like drops later on, because you can always add another control tower for the other port. One thing to mention is the armory. So it'll be interesting to see when mine gets his. You can see Shines is already finished basically. So if he decides that he wants to go up in upgrades, especially for things like the later game with tanks and such, then that will give him a huge advantage. Would you see something coming up from his end as well? It's hard to say if it's going to be a Wraith at this point or if it's going to be a dropship, especially so early on in the game. Might be just more Wraith, but looks like mine will bank a couple of his Wraith up and go for a big attack all of a sudden just to try and catch Shine off guard. Shine doesn't have a comsat just yet, so Arceus could do a lot of damage. So more and more factor, we'll have to see. Oh, so it's a dropship. Okay, so this concept can be pretty interesting, also bad as well. But looks like it's actually going to get the dropship to the island base to take it as a third. That seems pretty reasonable. Now the Wraith can't shut this down if it gets scouted. And I'm personally interested to see when mine will move out, probably at the 4 Wraith mark. But we do see an academy coming in. Keep in mind that there is a bit of time before the comsats are basically up, the comsat stations. Likewise, there will be a bit of time between the refilling the energy show of mine strikes right before the and the follow-up drop. Okay, so this is probably going to reveal the Wraith, or at least, okay, perfectly done by mine. This is fantastically done by mine, because he will be sniping that dropship. He has revealed the Wraith, honestly, so he should, from my perspective, he should honestly just beeline it to the expansion at least, because once the Wraith have been revealed, Shine knows what's up, and you can kind of see he's getting the comsats ASAP, he's getting his eBay ASAP as well, so he knows what mine is up to. This will give him a bit of window to do a bit of damage. So if you can get a couple of SCVs, get them to use up the energy, that does mean the Wraith will have more staying power. So that's 2 SCVs killed. There's gonna be at least another 4 SCVs killed. What's what? 4 SCVs killed. 5th SCV killed as well, I believe. And the Wraith will make it out, and he can honestly. Oh, and he should be able to snipe this. Oh, this is really nicely done from mine. So mine knows that the front of Shine's base is exposed. So he's going to be sieging down the bunker, and he's going to kill the Marines in it. And the Wraith is still alive there for spotting. Now, it doesn't look like Siege is ready just yet for Shine, which is very interesting. And if mine honestly just moves a bit further down, he could probably even siege the CC outside of tank range. I'm not sure if he's planning to do it, but honestly, I feel like he has enough to do it. And from my perspective, getting the position will be better. But there is now 4 tanks here. I do believe Siege will be getting done soon. And you can basically see Siege is not done yet. Shine is definitely threatened, so he's putting quite a bit of SCVs. And we also know he has lost a bit of SCVs from the Wraith as well. So mine is playing this really well, despite having the worth equal early on. Now there is a 3rd CC, or a 3rd more than likely will be built if it's not already for Shine. So that can make him, again, he can run away with the economic advantage there if he gets that up. But looks like Shine or mine did take a nice position right outside his potential 3rd. Oh, and he's actually taking a 3rd at the 3 o'clock. So I feel like this is both good, and taking the top is, oh no, that's just a depot. So I feel like this 3 o'clock position can be both good and bad, honestly. Oh! So it looks like it's actually going to be there's going to be a break here as well. This can do a lot of damage as well. But mine is doing a great job with the target. You can see he's targeting the tanks first, because those are the most important. And he's going to get the last tank as well. It looks like fantastically done. And resetting the tank count and keeping his race alive, even though he didn't honestly lose a lot of his tanks. He is expanding again. and the Wraith do get a full scout of the base, and he's likely will be getting potentially maybe an SCV or 2 killed. Oh, but he should honestly not be losing the Wraith like that. And you can kind of see basically on top of that he has gotten his dropships. He can even land a drop right where the gas is there and completely deny the SCV's mining, and plus there's a choke with the way the gas is positioned. Now this is quite dangerous. There is a bit of fields coming in, but mine should definitely be able to set up. Now there is quite a bit of fields here from Shrine, honestly, and he's doing a great job of targeting the tanks. So there's only a single tank down to the 2, and the Goliath count is being also dwindled as well for mine. But there is 2 more tanks in the back, so mine will be okay. Now the CC has been scouted for Shine, so Shine does know about the 3rd CC. He doesn't know about the one at the 3 o'clock, so he may only think it's still the 3rd. But I believe the SCV has just scouted the base, so the Shrine should now be aware of mine taking a base at 3 o'clock and the island expansion. And you can kind of see the island can be hard to contest just because you need more and more dropships. The question is, I believe there's only a single Wraith there, but oh, this was really nicely done. He's actually going to be getting the dropship as well as killing the Goliath as well. Nicely, beautifully done from mine as well to protect that 3 o'clock base. And he's going to be mining the gas as well. So I'll give him an extra gas income. Plus, he is taking the island base. So this will put him further ahead. Now, we do see quite a bit of tanks being rallied towards the front of mine's base. And the Shrine obviously knows the position he is in. So there is a chance he might honestly try and push, and that's what he actually is doing. Oh no, he's oh. So Mind won't be losing his expansion anytime soon. There is a bit of dropships here for him, so he will keep it alive. But losing the 1 dropship and that tank was definitely a bad thing for him. Now keep in mind, you can kind of see around the map, you can see depots all over. Basically, there's a depot in the top at 12 o'clock, I believe, from mine that we saw earlier on. There was one at the expansion underneath it. There's one at the potential 3rd. So mine is basically trying to get an idea exactly of the expansion pattern of what Shine is doing, and he's trying to basically deny bases. Now, one thing Shine is doing brilliantly here is he is taking the position there. And as mentioned earlier when we started this game, this is a chance for him to actually ranged units right into mine's base, and he's going to be dropping back and basically using this architecture to his advantage. So this will be extremely difficult for mine to drop. He does have a couple of tanks, but he also loses 1 automatically. Oh, and there's still 3 tanks as well. So mine is in trouble, and if he moves too many tanks from the front into the back, honestly, he will be in trouble, because that will leave his front exposed for any kind of pushes. But he is in economic advantage still, but you can kind of see this is turning worse and worse as well. He's also losing his dropships too. So Shine is doing a fantastic job just pushing and pushing here. So 1 dropship down, or one tank left. He does not want to lose that armory though, because that one it's. Oh my god, it's really close. Okay, so he saves it. So the armor is extremely important. It looks like it's spinning, so I believe it's getting upgrades. Now, from this perspective, eco-wise, even though a lot of SCVs were lost, mine, from my perspective, still does have a bit of an advantage eco-wise. But you can see 2 dropships are coming, or 3 drops are coming in, and this will be denied, and this will turn the situation, from my perspective, into Shine's favor, because he will be denying the iron expansion as well as the 3 o'clock at the same time. So this will put mine back on 2 mining bases. Plus, he did lose a bit of units with the drop. Now, the one thing to mention, but he actually gets a nice drop off. So he will defend this base, and he actually should be able to defend this, but he will lose a lot of SCVs as well. One point to mention is the dropships. I believe 3 dropships died for Shine, so he has to remake those. On the other hand, we did see the 2 that died in the main, but there is a big drop as well into mine's main. And he doesn't have any units in place, so he's even losing more and more workers there. And Shine is just being relentless as well. Now the tank is going down. There is more and more tanks, so Mine should be able to survive this for sure. But look at his SCVs in his main. He has no units there. We know a lot of his units, a lot of his SCVs were carried at the island expansion, and basically the best or the nicest mining base form with the best saturation is probably still the expansion, because that hasn't been hit just yet. Still, he does have his mining still isn't too bad overall, but looks like the 3 o'clock base will be hit once again, and the question is, does Mine have any units here? Oh, he does have a couple Goliath. Is he going to react in time? That is the question. And this is spotted as well. Oh, this is nice. Some nice maneuvering on Shine's part. He's going to be dropping right in the middle. So this base, the island might actually be dead this time, or at least a lot of SCVs will be dying off. Oh, and that was a pretty brutal tank hit as well. You can see there's still 2 tanks alive. So looks like Mind might just... Oh, a single Goliath is left, but a lot of these are killed at this base. Honestly, part of me feels like what Mind needs to do is go for his own counter, because being on the back foot defending the constant aggression from Shine means that he is playing into Shine's plan. From my perspective, honestly, he needs to really target... he must know about the island expansion at this point, because he sees the whole map. He knows that there's no way that Shine has any other bases. So from my perspective, what he needs to do is just try and target one of these bases or go for a big drop, basically to keep Shine occupied, and that will help him replenish his economy. But oh, I don't know about this. This seems honestly like a bad and a good idea as well, because he's dropping on top. He will kill a lot of these, so actually it will work out well enough for him. But there was always a chance that the Goliath would have sniped a lot of the drop ships. Honestly though, I do wonder how much Mind knows about the island base at this point, because he must know that Shine must be operating on 3 bases. So honestly, even a couple of vultures in there, a single drop at least will get the SCVs to move, especially if he parks his units right behind the minerals. Now Shine is mined out in the main. And his expenses honestly mining out, so he's going to be on the 1 base economy soon, but he is going to go for another big drop. And honestly, like, Mind is ready. He has the turrets, he has the tanks. I think he'll be honestly okay at this point. And some of those drops have even been softened up as well. So despite the fantastic... oh, and it even breaks the position as well. So despite the really nice harass from Shine, Mind is pulling himself back in, having the 4 CCs, especially with the ability to remake SCVs. And obviously the better eco earlier on did put him in a better position, so it looks like he was able to withstand the storm. Now this tank will scout these dropships. I'm personally not sure how much of a good idea this is. I feel like he should have honestly left a couple back, because this will leave his main exposed. We only saw the 2 tanks earlier on. Granted, there is more missile tears going up, but yeah, Mind it has stabilized from what looked like game-ending damage, and he has denied any potential for a 4th base from Shine. And he also has the 1-0 upgrade finished as well. And you can kind of see he's basically just going mass tears, because he realizes that if he gets dropped again, it could be really bad, especially with how sparse his base is from units. So it looks like Shine will actually take this win here. But as long as the dropships are alive, at least that's still a win for Mind. So now there is a couple. So this drop will do a lot of kill a lot of SCVs as well. However, the dropships have pretty much almost all been killed, and there is going to be a huge drop on top, which will kill the dropship of Shine. So this will put Mind in a better position. Now there is a couple units at the front, but honestly, I don't think this is going to undo too much. Even if you lose a couple SCV, there's 5 CCs for Mind as well, and you know, tanks are dying left and right now for Shine, which is not what Shine needs, especially with the fact that his eco is in pretty shambles basically, except for that one mining base. Oh, it's interesting. So I wonder if Mind is planning to go for a big break. So it looks like Mind actually going to go for a big attack. He's basically going to try and clean up the center, and this honestly will probably be potentially the GG win, or the GG for him, because the tanks are going to be gone. Mind does have the better eco, and the GG comes in from Shine. So Mind will be our last Terran to advance to the next round, and this will conclude the Ro16. Really great series overall.